Snezhnaya is here soon, and there's a lot of speculation, but I've had this idea for a while, and it's becoming more apparent as the days go by, and well, you've read the title. The Tsaritsa is going to be Genshin's version of Elysia. An XP? Maybe not completely, but inspired by, I'm almost certain. So who is Alicia, and what do you need to know about her? Alicia is a pink-haired, elf-eared girl, but those are more so accidental qualities that her instances share. You may also know her as Cyrene. The two characters are very similar. More essentially, however, is that in each iteration of Alicia, what is fundamental to her is her love of humanity. There's a reason Hoyo likes her so much. She embodies the themes that underlie their stories of empowering humanity and rejecting fate or the rule of greater powers. Embracing flaws and rejecting the perfect divine is essential to her. On the surface, there are some more superficial similarities which we can confirm exist already. For one, we recently saw that the Tsaritsa does in fact have pointed ears in a version preview, and we also see her holding a scepter in the Statue of the Seven, which is one of the weapons that Alicia uses in Honkai Impact 3rd. Both Alicia and her iteration as Cyrene also wield ice or cryo. Additionally, cryo we know is the element of love. Love being a central theme in Alicia's character is a further fundamental similarity. Additionally, Alicia was born in a Russian-inspired city, so is connected by origin as well. Alicia is often called Anime Girl Jesus, and is said to be married to humanity. She recognizes humanity as flawed, yet still recognizes the power of the good that is within humanity. I will address the Jesus part first. We don't know whether the Tsaritsa will make a sacrifice for humanity, but there are already some parallels between her and Jesus. Granted, these are more superficial, but I think they're interesting enough. Alicia was a leader of the 13 Flame Chasers in Honkai Impact. Her and 12 others fought to free human civilization from the Honkai. Likewise, the Tsaritsa has 12 subordinates, the 11 Harbingers and their director, of whom she leads. I cannot map specific apostles onto Harbingers yet, but perhaps we could see Scaramouche as Judas as he defected from the Fatui to the point of erasing himself, in a sense, and Columbina could map onto Thomas due to her doubt in the mission of the Fatui. Even if these are not perfectly mapped, I think the numerical parallels are still interesting. Additionally, the structure provided by her leadership is enough to make me question things. What they are doing? I can't be certain, but I do have a theory. The name Elysia means paradise. Elysia wanted to create a paradise for humanity. I think we have evidence that the Tsaritsa wants to do such. But to explain this, you have to understand a bit about Gnosticism. I have a full video in which I talk about Gnostic influences in Genshin more thoroughly, but for now, here's what you really need to know. In Gnosticism, humans are trapped in the flawed physical world, unable to overcome this rule of the 7 archons put into power by the Demiurge, a flawed false god. The key to escaping this fate is to obtain gnosis, or knowledge. Humans have divine sparks within them which allows for them to obtain this knowledge, but whether one is able to do it within a lifetime is questionable. In Gnostic belief, people are reborn until they can finally obtain that divine spark and be free from the horrible material world. Now, I'm not calling Tevat necessarily the horrible material world, but I am saying that it's interesting they chose the word gnosis and, well, kept up with the rest of the Gnostic parallels, which I won't go into right now. As we know, in Genshin, gnosis belong to the archons, that is, before the Tsaritsa started collecting them. Being that a common theme in Hoyoverse stories is taking back power from the gods, I think there's a reason to believe that perhaps what the Tsaritsa is trying to do with the Gnosis is ignite the divine sparks in humans. You might say she wants to burn away the old world in which humans are controlled by a false ruler and create a new chance for humanity to thrive, creating a paradise for humans, from a world in which they don't belong. This would entail the Tsaritsa, in a sense, betraying part of her own role as an archon, similarly to how Alicia defies her status as a Hersher, to instead support the will of humanity. And it has been suggested that the Tsaritsa is possibly working against the heavenly principles. So I think we may be able to anticipate that the Tsaritsa is going to make a big sacrifice. Additionally, I think she may shed some light on what was hinted at in Sumeru about Tevat being one big samsara. Both Elysia and Cyrene have a connection to time and permanence in some sense. Alicia created the Elysian realm, in which humans who followed the Flame Chasers could look back at what they did for humanity through their memories preserved in time, and by allowing humanity another chance to triumph. Cyrene keeps the loop of Emphorius going to ensure the suppression of Iron Tomb, allowing for humanity to find a fate other than destruction. Each of these actions and sacrifices were for the sake of humanity and are a case of overcoming an apparent fate limiting humanity. We'll likely see something akin to this from the Tsaritsa, which is why I'm happy to bring to you the leak that the Tsaritsa will in fact be a bow user. Anyways, do all the YouTube things, join me on Twitch if you think I'm wrong and you want to yell at me, and whatever you go on to do, do it well.